We welcome you back for Game 8 as the finish line is in sight. As we're capping off Day 2, the quarterfinals of this SSAC tournament. We got another good one on task for you. I hope the Faulkner fans stuck around as we got your men squaring off against the Martin Methodist College RedHawks. So we're looking to wrap up our last game of an 8-game slate. We've had a ball covering them today. And we've got starting lineups for you right here for both teams. As for Faulkner, they're going to send out number 2, Monta Stanford, the 6'2 senior out of Tallahassee, Florida. Alex Anderson, the senior guard out of Peachtree City, Georgia. Oh, scratch that, I apologize. He's not starting. Nick Drake is starting in his place. Senior guard out of Nashville, Tennessee. Lucas Trell, the sophomore guard out of Franklin, Tennessee, earning the starting nod. DeMar Hill, the 6'3 guard out of Marietta, Georgia. He's a junior. He'll be starting. And Logan Jazowick, he wears number 34, 6'5 forward out of Deatsville, Alabama. Deatsville actually not that far from here. They're headed by Scott Sanderson. That's Faulkner University's head coach. Scott Combs, the head coach for Martin Methodist. And here's his starting lineup. Khadijah Townsend, number 0, the senior forward from Pulaski, Tennessee. So he's a homegrown product. He'll be starting at forward. Todrick Davis, the junior guard out of Memphis, Tennessee. He'll be starting. Caleb Chalby, the 6'2 junior out of Nashville. Wears number 4. He'll start. Number 15, Darius Forrest, the 6'6 forward out of Jackson, Mississippi. He'll earn the starting nod as well. And John Hoskins, the 6'11 senior out of Detroit, Michigan. So there's your starters for both teams. Martin Methodist 18-11 on the year, 11-7 in the conference. They've got the 4 seed. Faulkner has the 5 seed. So they're squaring off in Game 8 of the finale. So that's the starting lineup for both of those teams. As we're right about on time, we're scheduled to tip off at 9:45. And here we are at 9:45 on the dot, getting ready to get things going. So for tournament play, it's actually a really efficient pace. As we're looking to finish this up before midnight. As for Martin Methodist, pretty stout defensive club that Scott Combs is going to send out there. They're ranked 3rd in three-point defense on the year. They allow their opponents to shoot only 29% on the year. That's 3rd in the nation. And they're ranked number 7 in field goal percentage defensively. They only allow their opponents to shoot 39 points a game. A couple players on the SSAC first team and second team for these squads. Darius Forrest and Nick Drake. Forrest for Martin Methodist, Nick Drake for Faulkner. And DeMar Hill also on that first team. And 2 second teamers, Roderick Davis and Caleb Chalby, will start. So there's your players that have earned some postseason accolades. We're getting ready to tip this thing off. As we're about to start this one off here at the multiplex at the Crampton Bowl, as we're into hour 12 of basketball coverage. Jacob Horton here with my favorite SSAC producer, Scott Cheney, as we've been bringing you basketball action all day. We're getting ready to wrap this one up. We're gonna be dreaming about basketball tonight here. We never get to bed. So we're underway here in game number 8, the last one of the day. And Martin Methodist off to a quick start there as Davis starts them off with a 2-point basket. So the winner of this game for the men, they will square off against William Carey. So that's who they're waiting on. Not William Carey, excuse me, that was Loyola. William Carey was knocked off by Loyola about 5 hours ago. What a game there for them. So the winner will get Loyola. Correction there as Loyola pulls off the first big upset. So we're all knotted up at 2 now. As the Faulkner faithful, most of them has hung with us. So they're out in full support for their Eagles. As there's a steal there by Nick Drake. He knocks that in. That's 2 more points for him on the afternoon, as he's got his first 2. Sanford had that first 2-point bucket. As we're about a minute and a half into this one. Game 8. Finish line is in sight, folks. As Faulkner and Martin Methodist square off for a bid, and facing Loyola, who might be the hottest team in this conference right now, riding a huge wave of momentum as they pulled off the first big upset of this tournament when they knocked off the 1-seeded Crusaders from William Carey. So that's one of the storylines for today. That was a big upset. Another big storyline, Auburn Montgomery swept both of their games, so they'll be back in action tomorrow, men and women. So AUM fans, if you're still on the air, we'll have 2 more games of Warhawk basketball for you, as both of those teams are in the semifinals. There's 2 points from Monta Stanford. So Faulkner up 6-2 in this one. So Faulkner riding a little wave of momentum here to start this one, as they've got their home faithful behind them. As it's almost equivalent to a home game for them, as women played first, men play second. So something the fans are already used to, seeing the women play before the men. It's a little bit different setting, though, as a lot more is on the line. There's a 3-pointer there. DeMar Hill, he's an all-conference first-teamer. As he led him. He averaged 21 points on the year, so a big season for him. As we're going to have a foul. And the Faulkner fans are digging that. We've got a miniature version of a Faulkner student section there behind the basket. On Faulkner's bench side. They've got some cheerleaders as well. They got their eagle out there. As Hill dishes one out there, and that's a shot from Stanford. That's not going to fall. But a great start for the Eagles as they open up the game on a 9-2 run. They're looking pretty strong here to start this one. And there's a perimeter jump shot from Davis. He knocks it down. Gets in on the scoring action. That was a jump shot from Luttrell, took home some regular season awards as well, as he was Conference Player of the Week for January 11th. He had a big performance against Loyola, 29.7 boards in a W against them. a Loyola team they very well could be playing tomorrow. So you could have another chance to put on another scoring display like he did the first time they played each other. See our first subs. And that appears to be Marquise Grace checking in. Marquise, a 5'9" sophomore out of Huntsville. So he's going to shoot 2. That's going to be Stanford, who subbed out for Matt Pond, the 6'6" junior forward out of Franklin, Tennessee. As he's a big fella, he's more like a Lake. Would have been a more fitting last name for him. As off the steal is Hill, but he's called for the double dribble. And Scott Sanderson, to put it nicely, does not agree with that call. He wanted a foul. And the Faulkner fans don't like it either. They're going to err on the side of Sanderson. So Martin Methodist still kind of struggling to get things going offensively. They're trying to find their niche here. And there's another steal from Faulkner. This one's going to count. There's an open 3, and that one's going to be a little bit short for Nick Drake. His average right at 17 on the year. To go with 3 boards. For Nick Drake, a scoring threat for Faulkner. He's going to be one of the players they probably look to down the stretch to score some points for them. And Martin Methodist finally ends that scoring drought. They can get 2 points on the board. So we're rocking and rolling along here. 5 minutes into the first half. As Drake comes up short on that trip to the basket. And that's going to be a 3-throw opportunity for Darius Forrest. 6'6" forward out of Jackson, Mississippi. Fitting name for him is you might mistake him for a tree in the forest. He stands at a staggering 6'6". Got a big frame, the senior out of Jackson, Mississippi, as he knocks in that first one. We're going to see some new Eagles, or old Eagles, I guess you could say, as some starters check back in. Sanford and the Trail going to check back in. So Martin Methodist, it's back to a 1-possession game here. As 10-7 leads the line right now, with 14 minutes left in this one. Game 8 of an 8-day slate today, quarterfinals. We'll have just 4 tomorrow, a little bit lighter workload, to everyone's pleasure. There's a contested shot, and if that's going to be an active shooting, that's going to be 3 shots, but nope. It's going to be on Martin Methodist. And that's on Kobe Burnett, who's just checked in for them. So we've got Broderick Davis into the game now. Jacoby Bennett, as we said, he just came in. For Faulkner, Marquise Gray is checking back in. And we've also got Hogan Jazowick coming back in as he started the game. Took a little bit of time off. He's back out there eager score some points, grab some rebounds, whatever his team needs him to do. There's a three-point shot that's not going to go, but right there is Burnett to corral it, and they're going to get a fresh 30-second shot clock, but they're going to use only about 3 of those allotted seconds as Davis knocks down a 3, so he gets his first scoring action. As we're all knotted up at 10, a little bit of a low-scoring affair. As we're creeping towards that halfway point. There's a left-handed three-point shot there. Zowick. Joswick. As Faulkner pulls ahead by 3. And an errant pass there would have given Faulkner a potential 2-possession lead had they been able to capitalize, but that pass just out of the reach. So we're going to have another substitution for the Eagles. Looks like Alec Anderson, senior out of Peachtree City, Georgia. He's in the game now. Some nice baseline pass there from Oscar Reinfeldt, who's just checked in. He hooks up with Anderson. Or Chalbe, excuse me. Well, nice little hookup from those two. And there's a three-point shot from Nick Drake. Nothing but nylon. He knocks that one down. So it's a 4-point lead for the Eagles now. 16-12 reads the score. And Martin Methodist tries to counter with a 3. As Broderick Davis is right there for the putback. So 2s for 3s right there. And Barhill knocks that one in as we've got a timeout on the floor. So we're going to update you a little bit of what's been going on. Lamar Hill, he's got 5 now, as we've got 3 Eagles, Sanford, Drake, and now Hill with 5 points. So 15 of those 18 belong to them. As Todrick and Broderick, Davis brothers, one has 4, that's Todrick. Broderick has 5. So they're leading the way. So the Davis brothers representing the family well tonight with 9 of Martin Methodist's 14 points. Martin Methodist cuts the deficit back down to a 1-possession game. That's Darius Forrest, the SSAC first teamer. And we've got a media timeout. And we've also got a foul from Lamar Hill. But we've got a media timeout on the floor. Now, as a quick update on some team stats, Faulkner, 7 of 14 from the field. That's good enough for 50%. Do the math. Martin Methodist, 6 of 15. What's been the difference maker for Faulkner? 3 of 4 from the three-point line. That's a very efficient 75%. That's the rate you love to be able to keep up. At least something close to that. Martin Methodist with 10 rebounds to Faulkner 6, so they're winning the battle on the glass right now. As 5 of those comes via the offensive rebound. So Darius Forrest with 5 points, as well as Broderick Davis. So they've sharing the lead there with points. Forrest also has 4 rebounds. Sanford for Faulkner's got 5 points. He's also got 3 rebounds. So he's leading the way right now offensively for them. As we're going to have a pair of free throws. And I believe that's going to be DeMar Hill taking the shots. Last foul was actually on Burnett for Martin Methodist. And Hill sinks the first one. So 3-point lead for Faulkner. Make it a 2-possession game now. As Faulkner leads 20-16. As we're coming up on the halfway mark in the first half. And we're going to have a foul on Martin Methodist. And that foul's going to go on John Hoskins. Hoskins took home a Player of the Week honor as well. That was February the 5th. He had a 14-11 performance against Blue Mountain and a 22-11 performance against William Carey. Both of those wins. So he averaged 20.5 and 10. So that's 2 double-doubles that was on his ledger. Helped him earn that award. So another, seems to be a clock malfunction or something. We're trying to figure things out. We're going to resume play now after we're so we got about 1/2 the way through this first half. Seven seconds on the shot clock. Faulkner's got to take a shot here. They're running out of time. 2, 1. That's going to be at the buzzer for the shot clock. And Martin Methodist will take over. They pass that one around, and that 3 ball is going to fall just short for Faulkner. That was by Joswiak. And a block there from Joswiak really kind of electrifies that student section. I think it's a big block there. They're going to get the ball back, though, as that thing trickled away to the other side of the multiplex. They retrieve it. And we don't waste a whole lot of time there playing fetch. Wasn't quite as bad as earlier when the ball got trapped underneath the bleachers, as Sam Canadians had to crawl his way down there and snatch it out. That was about a 45-second delay we had. They had a camera in one hand, a ball in the other. So, shout out to our assistant commissioner, the SSAC, for putting in work on the court, helping this thing try to go as smoothly as possible. We got 2 points there from Caleb Chaube, as it's back to a 2-point game. That's great ball movement there from Faulkner, as Nick Drake knocks down the 3. That's the kind of stuff that'll make a guy like Greg Popovich proud. They swing the ball around. Nice crisp passing there, as it's going to be a slam there from Darius Forrest as he throws one down. So back to a 3-point game we go. He's only had a few dunks on the day, not as many as I thought we might see here, but we've still got some basketball left to play. Our producer, Scott Chaney, pointing out one of the best dunks we've seen today. One of the only dunks. We've only seen about 2 or 3. They haven't been what you call rim rattlers, but they all count for 2 points. So style points don't go towards your total. It's not a dunk contest. It's a point scoring contest. That's all that really matters. But it certainly doesn't hurt. We can add a little flair to it. There's a jump shot there. Chalve. And it's back to a 1-point game. The Martin Methodist cutting the deficit now, and it is a 1-possession game, and that is a big block there. John Hoskins. Not to be confused with John Hopkins, the infamous medical school up there. Is it in New York? Somewhere up there. Boston, maybe? Up somewhere in New England. One of the more prestigious medical schools in the country. Always got a solid lacrosse team, too. Play great lacrosse up there. Well, that's John Hoskins, so not to be confused with that university. And it's going to be knocked out, looked like by Hill. So Martin Methodist will take back over with a chance to do something they haven't done in a while here in the first half, take the lead. See if they can seize the moment. Nothing there, but a big offensive rebound from Hoskins. And you can't knock that one down, though. There's a monstrous throw down there from Hoskins, who rattles the rim. Well, that throw down. As Martin Methodist goes back on top for, I believe, the first time all game. Faulkner got off to a quick lead. I believe this is Martin Methodist's first lead of the game, as we're going to see some substitutions here in just a second. Townsend coming back in. Looks like Townsend for the RedHawks, yes, or for the RedHawks. And we're going to have a Jose Jimenez sighting, the 6'4" junior out of Venezuela. I tell you the name of his hometown, but it's about a 99.9% chance that I did not get it right. So they're going to bring in their Venezuelan 6'4" junior, Jose Jimenez. And there's another block for the RedHawks. As Jimenez gets his first rebound, just seconds into action. Hill lays that one up, and Faulkner's back on top, 25-23. And Jimenez there with another grab, rebound there, as I believe that's a Venezuelan flag out there in the student section. So they're excited to see him out there, the Faulkner fans. And Hill had to rebound his own shot there. So we're going to have a foul there And I believe that was Jimenez. That's his first. So we're going to take our last media timeout here of the first half. As they're rolling along here in game number 8. Talk about a full day's work. We kicked this thing off at 9 this morning. We're late until the evening hours. Approaching the morning of Friday. It's going to have all our semifinals action. As after this game, we'll know who's playing who. But as for this one, Martin Methodist 11 of 25 from the field. So 44% average for them. Their percentage. And Faulkner's 9 of 24. Faulkner's still shooting a pretty efficient 3-ball, as they're 4 of 7 on the night on those stats. They're led by Hill, who's got 9, as well as 3 assists, which also lead the team. Sanford's got 5 rebounds for the Eagles. That leads the team. And Darius Forrest, the current leader for the RedHawks, he's got 7 points and 6 rebounds. So they're going to resume play here with 5 minutes left. There's a 3-point shot that comes off the back of the rim. That was Todrick, not to be confused with his brother Broderick. Both the juniors out of Memphis, Tennessee. And Jimenez was running out of time. He has his pocket picked. And it's going to be a drive to the basket by Broderick Davis, but he can't come up with anything on that trip. Now here comes a 3-pointer from Keith Graves, but he can't knock it down. So a couple of missed field goals. Martin Methodist rebuttals after that miss with a bucket there by Darius Forrest. So he's going to be up to 9 now. My math is correct. So he's got 9. He's the leading scorer for the RedHawks. Forrest, the all-SSAC first teamer, had a great year. Averaged right at 15.5 per game. To go along with 7 rebounds. And there's a block. Chalme. And that's going to be Broderick Davis, who knocks down those 2 points there. And with about a little under 3.5 for halftime, Martin Methodist now to a 28-25 lead here on the SSAC Sports Network. Of course, you know we're coming to you from the multiplex at the Crampton Bowl here in historic downtown Montgomery. Just a matter of feet away from the football stadium where we have the annual Raycom Media Bowl. Got some all-star games, football games we play there. A lot of high school football there takes place as well. Across the street from Patterson, a couple blocks down the road, you got Riverwalk Stadium. Lots of events take place here in the downtown area. And there's a 3 there. Joswiak knocks down that 3, so we're all tied up as we get closer and closer to halftime. They're running out of time here. They've got 2 seconds. It's not going to matter, though. That's going to end up in the hands of Drake. And got 2 points there. That's a line violation. I'm going to say Mark Methodist stepped on the out of bounds boundary. As Faulkner will take back over. Here comes a three from the trail, and he knocks it down. So look at the trail. He's got 3 more points to his total. This is actually his first 3 points of the game. Trail, who, like we mentioned earlier, garnered Player of the Week honors for January 11th. They had a big performance against Loyola, a team that they would face tomorrow if they win this game. I'm sure he'd love to get out there and try to duplicate what he did against them on the 11th. And speaking of Luttrell, there's the man himself, comes up with a steal. It's going to be an and one. Stanford. He's going to go to the line. Faulkner now has got a touchdown lead over the RedHawks with a chance to expand on it even more here. They can cash in from the charity stripe. And Jose Jimenez. The Venezuelan native going to check back in. They proudly wave that flag. Showcasing the colors of that country. So we got about a minute here till halftime. And we got a special treat in the second half. We're going to be joined by AUM Sports Information Director Tim Lutz. It's been a busy day for him as he's had 2 games to cover. Only 2 though, not 8. So. Could have been a little bit busier, but he's going to hop on, do a little color commentary, or heck, he can do play-by-play if he wants. Doesn't matter to me. But he's going to hop on. We're going to talk a little basketball, maybe preview some matchups tomorrow. As we've got a foul there. Oh, and that looked like Reinfeld's. So 56 seconds separate us from halftime. As we're going to have a pair of free throws from the trail. As everybody but Jimenez is in the backcourt. So we'll get another shot from the trail. So John Hoskins checking back in. The big 6'11" guy. Forward, center, just all-around big man out of Detroit. Probably a Pistons fan. Maybe a advocate for those bad boys that played in the 80s and 90s. Or mostly 80s. Gave Jordan so much trouble. And right on cue, there's Darius Forrest, who gets 2 points. As Faulkner going to hold the ball, this will be their last possession of the half. So they've got an 8-point lead here at the half. 38-30 reads the scoring line. As that's going to be a shot clock violation, as that shot from Jimenez did not hit the rim. So 4.4 seconds separate us from the half. So barring a buzzer beater here from the RedHawks, Faulkner probably going to take an 8-point lead into intermission. We count down 3, 2, 1. There's the shot, and it almost goes, but it doesn't. So it's an 8-point lead for the Eagles at the half. And we're going to take a quick break here, folks, and when we come back, we're going to preview the second half, talk a little bit of tournament action tomorrow, and we'll have Tim Lutz with us as well. So we'll talk a little AUM basketball. As it's going to be another busy day for him tomorrow, as they'll have 2 more games to cover, as both the men and women will square off. We'll cover all that stuff when we come back here on the SSAC Sports Network.
I had a dream, a beautiful dream. I couldn't believe how real it seemed. Up on stage, in a field of green, on the winding river, and a song you'll sing. When I wake up, I'll see you here in Montgomery, where dreams come true.
When you stay at Doubletree by Hilton Hotel Montgomery, downtown in Montgomery, you'll be near the airport in minutes. From Supreme Court of Alabama and Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, this hotel is within close proximity of Hank Williams Museum and Civil Rights Memorial. Take advantage of recreation opportunities such as a fitness center or taking the view from a terrace and a garden. Visit my blog www.tipswhentraveling.com and subscribe.
Back in 1958, Big Daddy John Bishop opened Dreamland Barbecue with his signature recipe for sauce and hickory fire grilled ribs. And that legendary taste and recipe have remained unchanged for over half a century. Dreamland now serves everything from ribs to pulled pork and chicken to sausage links and still uses that famous sauce. Come in as customers and leave as family at Dreamland. Ain't nothing like 'em nowhere.
For nearly 40 years, Musco has specialized in the design and manufacture of sports and large area lighting solutions. From neighborhood ball fields to international speedways, Musco is committed to providing cost-effective lighting solutions and services you can rely on. For your budget, for the environment, Musco Lighting, we make it happen.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Get in the game at playnaia.org.
At Nukes, we know that for you, it's all about flavor. You want unique combinations that truly tempt your taste buds. Culinary classics that go to a whole new level. You like being served fresh takes on old favorites. All in a fun, stylish, casual place to be. All we want is to see that smile when you take your very first bite. So come see us at Nukes Eatery.
And we're back here on the SSAC Sports Network, getting ready to kick things off. And in a few moments, we're going to have AUM Sports Information Director Tim Lutz. He's working hard, compiling that post-game report. Go give it a read if you're a follower of AUM Athletics. It'll be on the athletic website. As we've got a minute separating us from the second half of this one. So we've got it figured out now after looking through our brackets, trying to translate our chicken scratch into who's going to play who. And I think we've got it all but figured out now. We're just waiting on this game to finish off. Our first game tomorrow for women is going to be Bethel versus Martin Methodist. As they'll square off at 1 o'clock. Then we're going to have a men's game. Middle Georgia going to take on AUM. That should be a real doozy. As Middle Georgia had a monstrous performance from Stanfield, their first teamer. So they'll play, and then we'll have AUM women taking on Loyola at 5 o'clock. And then the nightcap is going to be Loyola versus the winner of this game. Loyola pulled off a major upset today, knocking off William Carey, the number 1 seed. And right on cue as the buzzer sounds, we've got AUM Sports Info Director Tim Lutz. Tim, how you doing? It's good to see you.
Jacob, I appreciate you allowing me to join you for the final 20 minutes of what I'm sure has been a very taxing day on your
well, it's been fun. It's been fun. As the lozenges have been out in full force. As we're right off to scoring action. Yeah. So I know you're a happy man after seeing 2 wins, AUM.
Yeah, you know, it was a good day for the Warhawks, but a good day for the Southern States as well. As there's been 8 really quality basketball games here in Montgomery.
Good action. As Montgomery always plays a good host as they host this. And I've received word of mouth from Sam Kanian's assistant commissioner that Montgomery's going to host the softball championship this year as well, out there at Fane Park.
Yeah, actually, I think they're going to be doing that out at Lagoon.
At Lagoon, okay.
Patterson Field, also a gracious host for the baseball tournament. The Montgomery City Sports Commission has been just a tremendous partner of the conference.
So you have a lot of these schools that are in, not really, I guess, what you call college towns. So Montgomery kind of offers that urban environment, and most importantly, they've got places to sleep, and places to eat. That's really the 2 biggest concerns when you have, tournament action like this.
Without question, the city of Montgomery has really made a conscious effort to try to solicit these type of events, whether it be through the Southern States Athletic Conference or the Raycom Media Camellia Bowl or whatnot. And, Mayor Strange and his team, as well as the Sports Commission, have embraced it entirely. So, certainly excited about welcoming these teams to Montgomery.
Absolutely. We've got a 3-ball from Latrell. You can't knock that one down. As Brandon, that's Caleb Chalbay. He's rocking the neon orange kicks. I bet those things glow in the dark, Tim, if you flipped off the switch. You'll probably follow him to the basket if we had a power outage.
I can promise you one thing I can't contribute to this broadcast about, and that's fashion. Faulkner's really come out here in the second half and really looked to establish the tempo here. They really done a nice job. They came out and hit the nice opening three there to start the quarter, or the half rather, and then also, this slash here by DeMar Hill. Really nice player for the Eagles.
Hill, yeah, first team All-Selection, the SSAC. It was a great year for him. They had 2 selections, as a matter of fact, him and Nick Drake, because they've kind of carried the load offensively for this team all year.
Sure, both quality players. Hill seems to really dictate the pace for the team as the point guard, and Hill is really the spot-up shooter, or Drake, I should say, is the spot-up shooter for the team. Both guys, make a real tough matchup for the defense. Really keep Faulkner in a lot of ball games with those two.
So
guys.
here we are, about a minute and a half into the action, as Faulkner got a double-digit lead. They're led, of course, by Drake. He's got 10. He's in double figures. Sanford leading the way with 7 boards. And DeMar Hill, a first-teamer, as we just mentioned, leading the team in dimes. As he's got, I believe, 4 of those. That's right. We're cruising along here. As we've had a really good showing, and credit the SSAC for doing a good job of slotting these Montgomery games in times where everybody can get off work and make it and be able to attend. We had a great crowd tonight for AUM, Faulkner, and for all these Montgomery City games.
Sure. Originally, I know our women were scheduled to play the 9 o'clock game this morning, which makes it obviously very difficult for the local fan to attend. But at the same time gives the visiting teams opportunity to rest a little longer as well. You got to admit, AUM and Faulkner are at a bit of an advantage here with this tournament, being able to sleep in their own beds and stay in the routine of being on their own schedule.
I don't think people realize how big of an advantage that can be. I mean, as a player, you like to be able to develop a routine, and when you can kind of stay in that comfort zone and not have to change too much, it can be big. Like I said, sleeping in your own bed, eating at that same restaurant before and maybe after.
Another rebound there by Sanford.
Yeah, he's having a great night on the boards. And I'll tell you something that really stood out to me. I want to hit back to that AUM women's game. Faulkner came in as one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the nation. I think they averaged right at about 31, 32. I was best in the NAI, but AUM, that didn't really phase them as they out-rebounded them, and about half those came on the offensive side of the board. So a lot of those second-chance points really proved to be beneficial for them down the stretch.
Yeah, AUM did it. They did a nice job of taking advantage of an unfortunate situation for the Eagles. They were obviously shorthanded after the incident last weekend, but give AUM a lot of credit for taking advantage of that, but also give Faulkner a lot of credit. Man, they really worked their tails off and gave AUM everything they wanted, even though they were had their backs up against the wall with a limited bench.
I'll tell you, the score really doesn't indicate how close of a game it was, as they were really in it the whole time, as they had the crowd. I'd say it's probably about 60-40 on the Faulkner side. They had a good showing of their fans, and they're still here supporting their men. So this is almost like a home game for them, as they get a women's game and then a men right after it.
Absolutely. There's about as much distance between Faulkner's campus and the multiplex here as there is between Faulkner and AUM here in Montgomery. About 3.5 miles, probably, somewhere around there.
So that's a
turnover there by Faulkner. Martin Methodist trying to make something happen in transition.
So yeah, if they want to get back into this game, that's definitely something they're going to have to improve on. Points off turnover, as Martin Methodist only has 4 to Faulkner's 12. So that's a stat that kind of jumps off at the page.
Faulkner had, Martin Methodist rather, had an opportunity there where Darius Forrest got fouled on the shot attempt. Bounced off the iron a bit, but unfortunately didn't fall. He'll have 2 shots though there to try to chip into this advantage. 2 free throws here and cut it in single digits.
He's a natural, folks. Sign him up. Tim Lutz coming in.
I just do what I can, Jacob. I saw your Hall's bag was a little empty there and knew the throat was a little sore.
We are running pretty rugged, or we're running out of them. So a trip to Walmart may be due soon in the near future to grab some more, as we've still got some more basketball ahead of us. Tomorrow should be a fun day. The semifinals. Going to have AUM squaring off in 2 games. You'll be back.
Yeah, Drake got Drake on the slash there. Gets fouled by the RedHawks. Forrest hit both free throws there, and now has a Martin Methodist with a 9-point lead. Drake heading to the line, but as you mentioned, four really nice semifinal games here. Regardless of who the victor of this final game of the night is, you got all 4 of your top seeds in the women's game advancing to the semifinals, and the men's side, at this point is really up for grabs with Martin Methodist, or not Martin Methodist, but William Carey, the top seed, and Dalton State, the number 3 seed, and defending national champions out after day 1.
So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see who can potentially represent the SSAC. As I've been informed that William Carey, despite being knocked out, won the regular season title, so that's going to ensue an automatic bid. But I'm sure they were wanting to compete for that hardware and get an SSAC title.
Absolutely. Drake hit both threes, extending the advantage back up to double figures.
Drake went back-to-back on the free throws. You got any Drake on your iPod, Tim?
That is a big negative, I'm afraid.
Drake kind of doing big things in the music industry right now.
Well, I tell you, I'm a sports radio kind of guy, and don't listen to a whole lot of music if it's not, the Rolling Stones or Journey, I suppose. Turnover there by the RedHawks. Hill in transition. Puts it up, and, they're going to call it off. So he was fouled before the attempt. The official was quick there with the wave off.
And I'll tell you what, that really got these fans to their feet, as they are a little upset that didn't count, but what an effort there. That was Hill, I believe.
Yeah, first team all-conference performer for a reason. That one's knocked away. They're down on the ground battling, and Martin Methodist can come up with the ball. That's Broderick Davis. In transition, he's out to Caleb Chaubay, and Chaubay knocks down the 3 to pull the RedHawks within 8 with 16 minutes to go. Jake Faulkner can't let up on the gas here.
Cannot at all.
The Eagles are the RedHawks within 8 at this point.
You got to kick them when they're down. Can't help your opponent up.
Hill with the missed layup there. RedHawks back in transition. Chaubay with a nice pass off to Forrest, and we've got a 6-point ball game here. RedHawks are going to call a timeout here, I think.
So you hear that in the background? Sounds like Uncle Mo knocking on the door of Martin Methodist. A little bit of momentum coming their way. Is this now 2-possession game pending? Maybe a 3-ball here or there. But we're going to pause for a second. Update you here on some statistics provided by the live stats.
Some scoring updates for you this game. Martin Methodist, led by Darius Forrest. He's got 17 points at this point. He's got 17 of their 39 points. Faulkner led by the duo. We mentioned the first team all-conference performers of DeMar Hill and Nick Drake, both in double figures. Drake with 12, 2 of 4 from 3. DeMar Hill with 11 points. He's added 4 assists. So the usual suspects contributing to the direction of this game is Faulkner. After the timeout, comes back, makes a couple of substitutions, and will bring the ball up into the front court.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's no secret. Faulkner knows what their winning recipe is. They got to get their big players like that involved, and that's what they've done here. So credit to them. We're sticking their game plan and executing.
3-ball on the way by Marquise Gray. Nailed it. Nice pass by Lucas Luttrell, making the extra pass there. He had an open shot.
And, that's just what they need to kind of forward some of that momentum, because Martin Methodist was making a little bit of a run there. So big shot there.
Well, you just mentioned it was a 2-possession game for Martin Methodist. With a 3, they could cut it down to a single possession, and Faulkner comes back, extends it right back out to 3 with 1 shot.
In a game of basketball, like we've seen so many times, it's a game of momentum. You see teams go on runs.
Nice.
Faulkner went on a little bit of a run there, so they're trying to keep Methodist from going on that run, and it's now a 7-point game.
That's right. Nice basket there by Todrick Davis of Martin Methodist, inside amongst the big post players, and Davis found a way to spin in that layup. 7-point game, 48-41, 14-20 remaining in the game. There's Drake open for a 3. Puts it up, bounces off the front of the iron.
Nobody within the same zip code as Drake there. He had a wide open
Nice crash of the boards there by Martin Methodist Chambe. Really nice job there of coming off of the miss there by Davis.
Some effort there.
5-point game here.
So I'd say still anybody's game right now, as we got a lot of ball left. Martin Methodist trying to build some momentum.
And that's going to be a foul on Marquise Grays for the Eagles. Misses a three. Scramble for the ball on the rebound, and Grays reaches in and picks up the foul.
Well, see, a lot of times when you see a player get to a situation like that, they'll miss the shot, try to correct themselves, hustle after the ball, and just be a little too aggressive there. That's kind of the situation he found himself in. Just kind of overran it and just kind of wrong place, wrong time, really, as he draws the foul. If my eyes don't deceive me, that looks like the shoes of Caleb Chalbe. He's going to bring that up court.
It's a big possession for Martin Methodist here.
It really is. They can cut it down to a one-possession game.
That's Oscar Reinfelds with the drive. Reinfeld from Latvia. Picks up the foul. They're going to call it on the floor. They're not going to give him the attempt on the shot there.
So I got a question for you, Tim. So in a situation like that, they reset the shot clock on a foul, because I saw that several times today where they'll maintain possession, so they just give them a fresh 30. So that's how that operates?
Yeah, anytime there's a foul, the shot clock's going to reset to 30 seconds. Nice offensive rebound and putback there by Forrest. So anytime you got a foul, it maintains possession for the other team, and also forces the shot clock to reset.
Well, that makes sense, because you could have a situation where if a team's running out of time, they could just foul them with 3 or 4 seconds left on the shot clock, and they have that amount of time to get them inbound. So it makes a little bit of sense for that rule to be in effect.
That's a heck of a look by Grays inside, knocked away by the RedHawks at the last second. 12:36 left, 48-45, Faulkner advantage. Jacob, I know you eye that under 12-minute mark, that media timeout. Jacoby Burnett checking back in for the RedHawks.
Oh, yes, we love our timeouts here. Anytime we get a chance to.
Hill's going to fire up a three. Gets his own rebound, puts it back up. Nice effort by DeMar Hill there for Faulkner.
He's a special player, isn't he?
He's tough to defend, there's no question. It's hard to game plan for a guy of his skill set. Careless turnover by the RedHawks there, and the Eagles are back in transition. Hill with a quick little pull-up jumper, and now you're looking back at a 7-point advantage for the Eagles.
So quite a swing there, Martin Methodist had a chance there to knock it down to one possession.
And Martin Methodist head coach Scott Combs is going to call a timeout, try to regain that momentum. Both teams shooting okay in the game. Martin Methodist actually holds an advantage from the floor, 47.6% from the field. Faulkner at 42.5%, but Faulkner getting it done from distance, 53% from the game. 8 of 15. Both teams successful from the charity stripe, 10 of 13 for Faulkner, 3 of 4 for Martin Methodist. Rebounds, the RedHawks hold a 25-17 advantage. Let's see what else we got here. Martin Methodist turning the ball over a little more than the Eagles, actually almost 2-1. Martin Methodist with 11 miscues, Faulkner with just 6. Faulkner's done a nice job of capitalizing on those turnovers, turning that into 14 points. And as we mentioned, Martin Methodist controlling the rebounds, but also controlling the paint, 30-18 for the game. So, folks, sorry to bore you with my less than enthusiastic voice, but Jacob is taking advantage of any opportunity he can get to rest those pipes.
I think it's nice to mix things up every once in a while. Change is good, right? Newer is always better. That's what I've always heard. And there's the big Latvian. That's what they call him.
Reinfeld's back into the game. He subbed back in during the timeout and immediately went and had a chance to make a three-point play here. One of the old-fashioned three-point plays.
Yeah, more of a Pete Maravich. That was my dad's favorite player growing up, Pete Maravich. I got him his biography for his birthday back in June, and he's a little tidbit of information for you. Back when Maravich played, they used to do the freshman teams, and it was kind of like a JV varsity setup. He played on the freshman team at LSU, and more people were coming to his games. Like they'd watch his game, and they'd leave after he played because he was the best player there. So he played with the freshmen, and after he got done playing, people were done because they saw all they needed to see when he played.
You talk about special players. This tournament is filled with them. You talk about Pete Maravich. Not comparing any of these players to Pistol Pete by any means, but you talk about the DeMar Hills. You talk about on the women's side the Torrey Carters, and you talk about just the talent level within the Southern States Athletic Conference. It's so fun to watch. It's fun to watch these teams play. It's fun to watch them compete. And the D1s may get the headlines, but the real competitive basketball is here at the smaller college level.
Oh, absolutely. Because I think it has a little bit to do with majority of these players know that this is it for them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. These kids are the epitome of student athletes. They're students first, athletes second. That doesn't mean that they're not as passionate about their craft as others.
You just don't see them in situations where they're taking 12 hours and 6 of those are classes like underwater basket weaving. That's right. Cases like that. Got to earn that grade.
And more importantly, these kids understand the importance of a degree.
Absolutely.
Drake with a nice drive to the basket. Looked like a little contact there. Reinfeld's with the rebound. Out to Chaube. Puts up a three. Corralled by the Eagles. 52-47, nearing the 11-minute mark of the game. Faulkner puts up a three. Martin Methodist back running in their direction.
Tim, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're 8 games in, I'm not feeling that bad. I feel like I got 8 more in me, maybe.
I'll
Just
tell you
kidding.
what,
Totally kidding there.
I'm going to take this headset
I
off.
say that with deep sarcasm. Hey, we're
Davis on the
packing her
three
up.
attempt.
Yeah, we're packing her up after
Reinfeld's again on the floor.
Reinfeld, I saw a little bit of a soccer move there. He immediately after committing a foul said, "Oh, I didn't do that."
Tell you what, when they went down for the rebound, it almost felt like one of those Olympic wrestling moves where he was trying to pin him. But obviously,
like a full Nelson, something like that. That's about as extensive as my wrestling knowledge goes. It's not on TV, the stage stuff. So yeah, we're both not really wrestling aficionados.
You've got me speechless.
I'll tell you what, growing up, I was a huge wrestling fan. Back when they, had like the WCW, Bill Goldberg. Oh man, I used to love watching him wrestle. I went and watched him as a child. My goodness, that man. Saw him lift a 500-pound guy up, suplex, and that was just unreal. He was one of my role models growing up.
Hill is just carrying the Eagles right now with the nice block by Forrest on the drive by Drake. Sorry to change the subject here.
No, we got a basketball game to worry about. We can talk wrestling later. We got more important issues at hand.
Folks, something to look forward to for that pregame show of the opening game in the morning.
Hopefully you can get your 8 hours tonight. We appreciate the Faulkner people tuning in that have stayed on with us for back-to-back games. Means a lot to us.
Handoff to Drake there. Drake nails the three off the handoff from Monte Sanford.
I'll tell you what, something, Tim, about that left-handed shot that just looks better. I don't know. It just seems like left-handed stuff I don't know if it's just because you don't see it as much, but it just looks more efficient, smoother. Like a left-handed baseball swing, it just looks better.
Chaube looking to answer with the three attempt. Sanford with another rebound for Faulkner. Tell you what it is, Jacob. It's just you hit the nail on the head when you said the shot is just so smooth. Drake with a pull-up in the paint.
I mean, when the
Faulkner
question,
back up by double figures.
don't want to get too off-putting, but when the question comes up, best swing in the history of baseball, what's the automatic answer?
Left-handed swing of Ken Griffey Jr.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
10 times out of 10. It's a no-brainer. There's something about that left-handed way of going about with things.
Nice look inside by Reinfelds there. Broderick Davis going to go to the line, fouled in the act of shooting.
Got a couple twins in the lineup for them. As they even almost have the same number, 2 and 3. Sometimes that 2 might can curl up a little bit. You might want to mistake it for a 3 or vice versa. That can get confusing. Wonder how he tells them apart in practice.
Well, they're wearing different colored shoes.
Oh, okay. That's smart.
So that probably has a
and then
a
one
nice
has wrist
impact.
tape on the left hand, or the other one's bare wrist. So I guess just subtle differences like that always help out.
I'll tell you what, they're both solid players. They're both key contributors here and help Martin Methodist stay in this ball game. Martin Methodist going with a little full court pressure there. That one got tapped away by Todrick Davis.
See Jimenez hit the deck there, like there's maybe a wet spot on the floor. I don't know. We've got a little bit of representation from all over the place. We got Jimenez out there from Venezuela. We got Reinfeld, the big Latvian. Is that a foul on a 3? It's going to be 3 shots. So I'd say, Tim, is that a tech? What's the call? No. They're just psyched up about Jimenez going to the line.
Yeah, it wasn't actually. I don't think it was actually on the 3
Okay.
as much as going through the screen.
Yeah, because it's a 1-and-1 call. So it's
Yeah. So Jimenez will be at the line for a 1-and-1 situation for the Eagles.
They're just excited to see him up there.
He was excited as well. That one off the back of the iron.
We got a lane violation, I think.
Actually, it looks like they're going to call a foul on the Eagles, sending the RedHawks to the free throw line. 8:48, both teams in the bonus here. 57-49, Faulkner leads. The lower seed here, the Eagles. Guest on the scoreboard, 4 and 5 matchup here.
Tell you what, that speaking of lower seeds, that Loyola William Carey game was a real doozy. As Loyola trailed probably 80% of that game and just went ahead when it mattered most. About a minute and a half left, they take the lead. What a game!
Sure, I heard. I wasn't here for the game. I heard that it was, 15 points or so that Carey was ahead.
Yeah,
Drake with the drive, deflected out of his hands.
And they
Jimenez
just stayed
there
in
to
it.
pick it up.
Stayed in it. Just chipped away. And my gosh, they tied it up with about 2 minutes left. They took the lead with about a minute and a half. So that was just by far probably the best game so far. If we can get some more games about as half as good as that one, there'll be some great ones.
Well, this game's still not decided. I tell you what, with Forrest inside for the RedHawks, it's hard to write them off. I don't think Faulkner's got a guy that can match up with his size and strength.
He does bring a lot to the table, both.
Alrighty, with 19 points today at the free throw line, looking for number 20. Martin Methodist brought a nice contingency down. SID Wade Neely, photographer Guy Schaefer.
Just the whole Hee-Haw gang.
Forrest makes the first, puts up the second, and it's good as well. 21 points at this point for Forrest. And he's going to get a quick breather for the RedHawks.
I think that's Latrell that checked back into the game for Faulkner.
Faulkner quickly gets the ball back into the hands of Hill. RedHawks with the Davis trap there. Both of the Davis brothers locking in hard on Hill. Drake with a slash to the basket, lays it up and in. Every time Martin Methodist cuts it to single figures, Faulkner always has a counter.
Drake's been big for them down the stretch. He was like a knife through hot butter there, just cut right through that defense.
Free ball by Broderick Davis, corralled there by DeMar Hill for Faulkner. And here comes a full court pressure again. Martin Methodist pick up a little touch foul there by Jacoby Burnett. It's going to be his third foul. Send Faulkner to the line for a 1-and-1 situation. I tell you what, that was a real quick breather by Forrest. He was out for all of, I don't know.
About 45 seconds maybe?
See how quick my math is. He went out at 8:08. It's 7:17 now.
So not even a minute.
Yeah, 51 seconds, I think.
Close, 45.
I don't know. That might be 49 seconds. I don't know.
I don't know. That's right. Yeah, it's either or. I'm winning money on the Price is Right with a bid like that. Maybe a double showcase winner.
There you go.
Showcase.
There you go. DeMar Hill hits the first of the front end of the 1-and-1.
I'm not going to let it keep it that professional. We're going to try to keep it light up here. As 8 games in, you got to do whatever you can to keep the morale at a high level.
Scott Sanderson calls a full timeout from the Faulkner bench. Jacob, I'll leave it up to you if you want to, if you'd like for me to talk about some stats, or if you want to take the break with them.
Tim, you can be my guest. You want to let them know about how this one.
Absolutely. As we mentioned, Faulkner holding a 63-51 lead here with 7:17 remaining in the second half. The Eagles 21 of 48 from the floor, 43.8%. Martin Methodist 21 of 47 from the floor, 44.7%. Leading scorer for each team, we mentioned Darius Forrest for Martin Methodist with 21 points. He's also got 8 rebounds, 2 more boards. He'll have the double-double. Also for Faulkner, Nick Drake, 19 points. DeMar Hill, 17 points. 2 more points for Monte Sanford, and he'll have a double-double for the Eagles. 7:17 left here in the game. Martin Methodist inbound the ball underneath the Faulkner basket. And we're off.
We are 7 minutes away from putting a bow in this one. 8-game slate. It's all downhill from here.
Ryan Fields with a 3 for the RedHawks. Big board by Jimenez.
Much to the crowd's pleasure, excuse me. This big support for Jimenez. They're undoubtedly their favorite Venezuelan.
DeMar Hill cutting into the lane. Gives it up to Jimenez, who lays it in and just off, just a little too strong.
Imagine what they'd have done if he'd have made it. They got hyped up for that miss. That would have probably knocked the roof off this place.
3-point attempt put up there by Chaubey. He sinks it, and Scott Combs will call a timeout here for Martin Methodist. 6:17 remaining. And the RedHawks are going to take a 30-second timeout.
So just when you think Tim Faulkner might be finishing this one off, there's a 3-pointer there to put them right back within striking distance.
A big opportunity here for the RedHawks. They've cut it with single figures several times here in the waning parts of the second half, and just haven't been able to continue the momentum. I think they got to within 6 points, I think, is where they've gotten, and Faulkner seems to always have an answer. They go back to one of their big 2 guys to either make a shot for themselves or to get a teammate involved. We've mentioned Jimenez's name a couple of times. He's had some good looks underneath. Mentioned Lucas Cottrell has had a couple of shots there that have fallen for the team, but really it boils down to Drake and Hill for the Eagles, and Hill's going to go to the free throw line after fouled there by a RedHawk. It's going to be the 9th team foul of the half for Martin Methodist.
Broderick. Look at this. They're both 6'3", so term identical to a T. Both listed as 6'3". They hail from Memphis, Tennessee. Isn't that the birthplace of blues? Or is that?
I think Elvis was born in Memphis, maybe.
Elvis was born in Tupelo.
Graceland is in
Elvis
Memphis.
grew up in Tupelo. I know that because my sister lives up in Jackson, and from where my parents live, they have to drive through Tupelo to get to Jackson, so they stop there.
It's Beale Street I was thinking of.
Maybe.
That's in Memphis.
So, yeah. But yeah, Elvis was born and raised in Tupelo. They have his house there. It's kind of like a museum. Sort of like how in Georgiana they have the Hank Williams thing. Kind of the same thing there. But yeah.
Here in Montgomery, the F. Scott Fitzgerald home.
That's right. That's also Hank Williams buried right up there behind Patterson Field. Sure. Yeah. Just right across there.
Drake with the steal. Fouled before the shot goes up there by Todrick Davis.
So much of the crowd's displeasure.
And that's going to take us to the under 6 media timeout here. Final media timeout of the quarterfinal round of the SSAC basketball tournament. 5:58 remaining. Faulkner holding a 65-54 advantage. I think this is going to be a long 6 minutes for us, Jacob. Both teams in the bonus. Faulkner now in the double bonus. So an opportunity for these young men to showcase their free throw shooting skills. Speaking of free throws, Faulkner 14 of 18 on the game. Martin Methodist 7 of 10.
So I was going to say, speaking of free throws, AUM, their men had a chance late in the game to put it away and really struggled to do that. You credit what Michael Cheney did, he's talking AUM stuff, but you credit Cheney for drawing up a play to get the ball into McCoy, one of his better free throw shooters, as they kept fouling Duramus, who was struggling. So they drew up a play to get their best free throw shooter in the line. They got him to the line. So credit Cheney, I think, for drawing that up. Get him a look. Yep,
I had an opportunity to talk with Michael after the game, and obviously he was very emotional with knowing the significance of the victory. Having been quite a while since AUM's won a conference tournament game, and also anytime you put the feather in your cap of defeating the defending national champion, you got to be pleased with that. But he mentioned the free throw shooting. AUM was 17 of 26 in the game, under 70%, and it really had an opportunity to hurt them late in the game. But give credit to the Warhawks. They had lead was cut down to 4. I know this only because I recapped, but the lead was cut down to 4 with under a minute to play, and AUM hit all 4 of their free throws in the final 35 seconds to hold on to the victory. Like you mentioned, the McCoy hit 2, and then senior Bobby Thompson hit 2 more.
So that's Hoskins checking in now for the big Latvian. They're going to leave him, but he's a tall drink of water. He's 6'11", out of Detroit, Michigan.
Looks like the RedHawks are looking to go big here with both Forrest and Hoskins. See if they can't establish some presence inside as they try to get this 12-point deficit down to a manageable number in the final seconds. Hoskins with the kick out to Chaube. Chaube puts up a 3, and Jimenez with the rebound. Silly pass by Jimenez, intercepted by Chaube. Chaube goes up, and Jimenez with the foul. Opportunity for a three-point play here. Again, Martin Methodist refusing to go away.
Just when you think, like I said, Faulkner looking to pull away. Kind of a silly inbound pass there. Yeah, you set up an opportunity for Chaube to add to his total, as he's got 16 after that bucket. Or correction, 14. So we'll have a chance to get to 15 now.
The RedHawks are going to need a couple of shots to fall from him. He's had some open looks here in the second half. And, obviously a very capable shooter. As he misses that free throw, a scramble for the ball, and DeMar Hill comes up with it, and he is off to the races. Gives the ball up to, actually that was Drake on the push, and off to Hill, who spins that one in. Faulkner again, back up by 12. Out to Chaube from Hoskins. He puts it up. That one's rebounded by Davis, put back in. Scott Combs going to call a full timeout here. 5:04 remaining. 10-point game, 68-58. Faulkner holding the advantage. Martin Methodist has managed to climb within 6 points earlier in the second half.
So still, you know, a little bit of time, but if I'd say that if Martin Methodist wants to make up that 10-point deficit, that they're going to start to have to make some power moves here and chip it away quickly because they're running out of time. They're 5 minutes away.
Yeah, time is definitely not on the RedHawks' favor at this point. As you mentioned, 5 minutes, 10 points to try to figure out a way to score. Come out of the timeout here. It'll be Faulkner's ball. Monte Sanford to inbounds. And there's an immediate turnover by the Eagles. Faulkner's crowd and head coach complaining about a shove there by Martin Methodist. However, there was an official right there to determine whether or not the foul occurred. Did look like a little contact, but I've never worn stripes before either. So Martin Methodist, an opportunity here. New player into the game, that's Kata John Tanzen. He'll put up a three. It'll graze off the front end of the iron, and Sanford will pull down his 11th rebound of the game.
And that would have been big there. That would have cut it down to 7.
DeMar Hill loses that ball and goes out of bounds, so careless turnover by the Eagles. Keeping life in, keeping hope in the RedHawks here. Davis to Davis, back to Chaubey. He'll put up the three, and it is nice and nylon-y.
It was a high arcing shot there. That one about hit off the lights.
68-61 here, 4 minutes remaining. Just over 4 minutes, I should say.
I hope he called moonshot on that one because whoever's following him up in horse is probably going to have an H. That thing got way up there.
No bank needed to be open for that one. That was all nylon. Hill looking for the pass. He finds Sanford underneath him. There's your double-double. 10 points, 11 rebounds for Monte Sanford.
Big night for him.
And the Faulkner coaching staff trying to engage the crowd here. Encourage the crowd to get up, make some noise. That's Davis for a three. He almost banked that one in. And that's going to be Lucas Luttrell with the rebound, and he'll pick up an opportunity for a pair of free throws on the other end after getting fouled after the
This
rebound.
crowd is really into this game now. It might be late into the evening hours, but they're showing no signs of weariness as they're probably all fueled up on 5-hour energy and all kinds of caffeinated beverages. As they're all on their feet cheering on their Eagles. Luttrell, one of those guys, Tim, that you really got to keep an eye on because we've seen what he's capable of doing. I mean, he took home Player of the Week honors, had a big game against Bethel where he dropped off 27 points. I mean, we know what he's capable of doing, and he's one of those players that you kind of have to account for because if you don't, he could end up hurting you.
Oh, without question. He is a very capable shooter and, can catch fire in a hurry. Right now, they want him to play defense. Forced in the lane with the fadeaway there. Hoskins, the big 6'11 guy, can't corral that one, but it does go out of bounds on an Eagle.
So if that ball's out of Hoskins' reach, I don't think anybody else on the court can grab it. He's going to have to wingspan of about the average bald Eagle. A big man. The Michigan native. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him playing for the Pistons one day with that size. I'm sure they could use a big man. We are 45 minutes away from semifinals Friday. So we're going to go home and get our 8 hours. Maybe 10 for some. Depends how early we can get to bed or how late we want to sleep in.
I'll tell you what, Jacob. I know that this doesn't make any, probably isn't interesting to any of our listeners right now, but I've got a birthday party to plan for on Saturday for my 7-year-old and my will be 3-year-old.
So that could create quite the conundrum for you if AUM men and women both win.
We're going from 10 to 12. So if AUM were to get into the finals, obviously, I would be here to support our teams and cover the games. But birthday party at this point has to take some priority as well. I've got to swing by Sam's and pick up a couple of cakes. The 7-year-old, the cookie cake.
I'll tell you what, my favorite place to get cakes from is Dairy Queen. You can get a nice ice cream cake there. As you get the ice cream in the middle. It's just an absolute unbelievable amount of calories and sugar, but it's worth the diabetes, 100%.
We were talking fashion earlier. I can't contribute on that conversation, but I tell you what, ice cream cakes, I'm all over.
Oh, just can't beat it.
Martin Methodist, 2 minutes 40 seconds to cut into a 10-point lead. It's going to be Hoskins with the three, and man, 6'11", that tall drink of water just nailed that three.
That he did. He was thirsty for that three-pointer. Tim, we found our place in similar territory. We think Faulkner might be about to pull away, and there's a three-pointer, 7-point game. That's plenty of time to make up that ground. So
Martin Methodist is going to have to really be aggressive on the defensive end. Can't give up any loose ball rebounds. Has to really lock in here for the final 2:33 as the 7-point lead. It just hasn't. It's been within their reach. They just haven't been able to cut into that margin deep enough to swing the momentum in the gym. Like you mentioned, the Faulkner crowd here is loud and proud, and Martin Methodist is hanging in and right there at the.
So if Martin Methodist were getting to a situation where they're probably going to have to start fouling soon if they can't make up that ground, I look here at some of their stats, and just about all the Faulkner players average around 65% or better. So that's really a situation you don't want to get yourself into. So they got to make up ground quick. It's not looking like it's might got to get better soon.
Well, they could have used a foul there as Drake sliced right through the lane, fairly well uncontested, and the lead's back to 9 for Faulkner.
Nice little behind the back pass there from the Latvian Reinfeld. I know style points will get you anywhere, but still don't hurt.
Martin Methodist has got to develop some urgency at this point. Down 9 with 2 minutes to go. Faulkner isn't going to. You mentioned the 65% free throw shooters from Faulkner. If they're hitting 1 of 2 and taking time off the clock. Chaubey with a big 3.
Well, if you don't mind if I interlude for a second, Hill shoots 73%, Drake shoots 71%, Sanford shoots 61%, Latrell is 64%. Just going down the chart here, so guys like that more than likely end up getting fouled, but as they burn up the clock there.
DeMar Hill with a really smart play there. Him and Drake, the only 2 players on that side of the court. Instead of going straight up with it, he milked a couple of seconds off the clock there.
So there's a three-pointer and 8 points. There's what separates these two teams. If you can't tell by the applause, Tim, Jose Jimenez just picked up 2 points.
Chalbay with the three. Chalbay has been in and out of those rims for much of the second half here. Faulkner again back in transition, not forcing anything. And Martin Methodist is going to resort to fouling at this point.
So is it safe to say, yeah, I mean, Faulkner up 10, under a minute to play, going to get to that point where they're going to start shooting free throws, so you got to like your chances, right? If you're Coach Scott Sanderson, he's got some pretty good free throw shooters, so just...
Well, and at this point, if you're Scott Sanderson, you're just telling your team to make smart decisions. Take care of the basketball. Don't get in such a hurry that you make a careless turnover, and give Martin Methodist life, because right now Faulkner has had the answer to every spurt that Martin Methodist has had.
And this is stuff you practice for. You dream of these scenarios. Up 10, this is what you do. You condition, then you shoot free throws. So this is stuff that they practice for, situations like this. So now it's just a matter of executing all the man hours you put into that.
Hoskins with another three. That one's going to be short. Luttrell with the rebound, and he's off. He went straight to the hoop.
These fans are excited. They're going to...
Scott Sanderson with the hold sign there on the sideline. I think he would have liked to have seen about 10 more seconds go off the clock than those 2 points by Luttrell. All the same, Faulkner's going to hold on here in advance to take on...
I got it right here for
Faulkner's
you,
going to take on Loyola tomorrow in the late game.
They will take on Loyola. And Loyola, it's a scary matchup because they're riding a huge wave of momentum after knocking off William Carey, the regular season conference.
That's right. Huge victory for the Wolfpack today. Selfishly, I'm looking forward. I know a friend of mine, former assistant commissioner Jonathan Wojciechowska, listening down in the Big Easy. Luttrell swats that one away onto the practice facility.
And I think that's gotten the biggest reaction from the crowd tonight. Luttrell kind of channeled his inner Dikembe Mutombo there. Swats that one back. But I got a scenario for you, Tim. So we got Faulkner, who's going to match up against Loyola. And then AUM's going to play Middle Georgia. So how great would it be for the city of Montgomery to get both of their NAI-affiliated Faulkner and AUM playing for the championship Saturday? I think that'd draw a heck of a crowd.
I think for the city of Montgomery, and that's definitely a big marketing opportunity for the city, having their 2 hometown teams in the championship games potentially. So at the same time, you look at it, and both you got AUM and Faulkner in the semifinals. On the men's side, you got AUM's women on the semis of the women's side, and tomorrow we got 4 more big games of SSSC college basketball for you.
All right, Tim. Well, I certainly appreciate you hopping on. Always a pleasure to work with you, and that's going to wrap it up for the quarterfinals of this marathon of a day that we had. 8 games in the books now. We'll have 4 more for you tomorrow. Faulkner caps it off in the final game of the quarterfinals with an 86-9 victory. They were paved by DeMar Hill and Nick Drake. They had 23. Drake went for 22. And a double-double for Monta Sanford. He had 12 rebounds and 11 points. So contributions from those 3. They'll square off against Loyola tomorrow. Quick recap. Starting off at 1 p.m., Bethel's going to play Martin Methodist in the women's matchup. Following that, AUM's going to play Middle Georgia at 3. And then following that, AUM going to play Loyola, their women, at 5. And then Loyola's going to play Faulkner in the nightcap. So we got 4 great semifinal matchups for you tomorrow. We appreciate you tuning in. Signing off, my esteemed co-worker, Scott Cheney. I'm Jacob Horton. It's been a pleasure, and we'll be back with you tomorrow at 1 p.m. for semifinal action here on the SSA Sports Network. Thanks for listening, folks.